the performance or outcome that we wanted. Give Michigan a lot of credit. I thought they were, they were coming off a loss, and they were super fired up. And I thought we came out and started great. Our first 5 minutes, really about 7 minutes, I thought we were really, really good. We didn't hit shots early, but we defended. We were executing our game plan. And then they went on a little stretch where I think they scored 6 points in a row, and it just kind of snowballed really, really fast from there. So we have got to learn. We have got to understand and learn from this game about how we deal with adversity in a game. And we talk all the time about our R's and our responses, and how can we quickly try to stop, when they go on a little run. Because basketball's a game of runs. It's ebbs and flows. But we always talk about it. We want to come out and make the first punch. I thought we did. But then, we got punched and we kind of just fell. So we got to have more fight. We got to do a better job in executing game plan. And then we got to hit some shots. You're just not going to beat anyone. I don't care who we play. You're not beating anyone shooting 29%. We got a lot of good looks. And we did not shoot the ball well at all. And they had almost double the field goals made and almost 20 more shots than us. So it was just not a great day. And I hope that there's never a day again like this. And we have one option, and we're going to learn. We're going to get better.
Questions for student athletes? Go ahead and raise your hand. Get your mic.
For one of the players, what you maybe see, Coach Hunter referenced that how you got off to a good start, but what was maybe the difference after that first 5 minutes that you kind of saw that made the difference there?
We just kind of talked about, basketball's a game of ebbs and flows, and so teams are going to go on runs, we're going to go on runs, teams are going to punch, we're going to punch. So I think, we punched them initially, and we got off to that really good start, and then it was just when they went on their run, we did not respond. We just kind of, went away from everything we had talked about initially. So just kind of making sure, on the court, that we're able to kind of get ourselves back to where we need to be and not having to, use a timeout or, just wait till a dead ball. We have to be able to do it a lot faster than we did.
Yeah, I agree with KB, and also we just gotta continue to fight and play our game and beat Illinois. I feel like we kind of got over our game and how we play offensively and defensively. So it's a good learning experience, and I'm just glad that we can still be together, after again.
What can you both take away from this game going against bigger, more physical competitors who can evenly match against you in the future?
That we have to play harder and be better.
We gotta fight. We're not calling fighting a line for no reason. We really do have to fight, and I don't care if they're taller, bigger, or stronger. We are Illinois, and our identity is being relentless, so we have to apply that on the floor and be consistent with that.
I know we hear a lot about you two kind of as voices, a lot of voices in the locker room. How can you guys kind of help respond to those punches better just in your roles as leaders?
Just making sure we're bringing everybody along. Sometimes people get in their own heads and then everything's focused on that one person trying to get them out, but just bringing everybody on the team along and just really holding people accountable. I think, just being someone that's positive in the moments where you want to be everything but positive. So just, I think, really making sure everybody's doing their part and everybody, is giving it to other people.
Yeah, and I'll just say be consistent in our leadership. I feel like for me, my leadership wasn't the best today, and I'll learn from that. But like KB said, bring everybody together, and stay positive.
Today Michigan went 4 guards. Jordan Hobbs was at the 4. How was that different from maybe what you were game planning for, and was maybe disruptive to your defense?
I think we prepped for her being the 4 for a little bit, but it's just we got, as 4s and 5s, we got to be able to defend guard bigs like that. I don't think we did the best job today on her. As a 4 and a 5, so just kind of making sure and putting more of a mindset into guarding those quicker 4s and those quicker 5s.
I guess for either of you, is this at all surprising to you to not respond like that, just given how much you guys have kind of all put in together?
Yeah, we had a really good, week of prep. We had 2 of probably the best practices we've had, so this was not, I don't think, what anybody was expecting.
Yeah, we worked hard. We had really good preparation, but we just got out of our ourselves and we stopped playing our game, and that really, we took ourselves out, honestly. And credit to Michigan, they're a really good team. They play really hard, but we didn't fight like we usually would.
Just more or less an indication of when you guys were playing D and shots were falling early and then you just didn't see the ball go through the basket and you let it affect your defense. Is that more or less accurate to kind of what happened, at least in the first half?
I think so. I think it was more our defense. You know, we had a couple mistakes initially, and then, you know, that led to easy buckets for them. And then we had a couple mistakes on offense. And we've been talking about a lot about offensive awareness. So just like kind of knowing when we need to stop and run a play or when we can really push it at them. And I feel like we didn't really have that there for a while. And I feel like that's kind of what led to the hole we dug.
It's for either of you. What's important in this next week to kind of get this right ahead of Missouri?
I think just like getting together and growing together and making sure everybody's on the same page, you know, mentally, and just making sure we're communicating on the court. That was something we talked about that was not great today, both basketball wise and not basketball wise. So just really kind of trying to make sure everybody is being positive when they need to be, and then just getting back to work, like learning from this game. I think there's a lot we can learn from it. But just taking that into the next game and coming into that next game hungry. You know, Michigan got beat by Toledo and they came in and they were ready to play. And so when we play Missouri, we need to have the same mentality Michigan did today.
Everybody good?
Michigan came in today and scored 13 threes. You know, what was your plan on trying to contain them, seeing how they struggled last game? What do you think happened today?
I mean, our plan's always to, you know, to get up and contest, and sometimes we had a hand in their face and they made them, sometimes we didn't do a good job of it, so, we need, in all areas we have to be better, but you gotta get a hand up in their face, especially against these guys. They're great shooters, across the board. One game doesn't define them. We scouted them as shooters, they knew they were shooters, but we gotta continue to execute and get out there with urgency.
How do you hope to prep against these more physical competitors, especially in Big Ten play?
How we prep every time. We practice every day against practice guys that are bigger than all those guys. So we prepare for it. We're used to it. It's about execution. It's about some toughness, and we got to obviously execute at a higher level. We did not execute tonight in really any areas outside the first 5 minutes of the game.
Why do you think, you mentioned the not responding, why do you think that was tonight? Was there anything that you saw leading up to it, or did you see kind of abnormal?
You know, we had our 2 best days of practice. We were completely, and I don't usually like say that because I'm usually a pretty tough critic, but we were locked in, we were sharp, we were executing, focused, I mean, everything. So I wouldn't have, in my wildest dreams, thought we'd come out and perform like this. Now, a lot of times I get a little bit more worried when our prep isn't as good, because usually good preparation leads to confidence. But we've talked a lot about our responses throughout the year, whether it's in practice or whether it's in games, you know, about communicating at a higher level on the court. Like, I can't call a timeout for everything. So we talk about them communicating and figuring things out on the court together and being that connected team out there. And I just thought today when you know, they went on a little run and then when shots aren't falling, we gotta be tougher than that. Shots aren't always gonna fall. We gotta still defend and stay locked in. You cannot let your offense dictate your defense. It cannot happen, and that's, you know, again, it's stuff we preach in our culture all the time. It's our defense, and I gotta do a better job of getting them to be completely bought into that, and execute that. That's on me.
Just this week ahead, practice-wise, I know finals week are playing a role in, but how important is this week to kind of grow, like your players were saying, about responding the same way kind of Michigan did after their tough loss?
Yeah, the only bad thing is you gotta sit on it for a week, right? And we've had a lot, our schedule has not been ideal we've had a lot of weeks in between. It's good for getting practice time in and hopefully getting better, but after a loss, it's not good. You don't wanna have to sit on it for a whole week, but we're gonna utilize it to its fullest in terms of the things that we need to work on, and then also just some stuff in terms of, you know, our team being together and talking through some of the things of how we can communicate better with some team meetings and stuff like that. So it'll be a good week. It'll be a good week, and we have, the great thing about basketball is you got another opportunity shortly after to come back out and try to get better from it and get back on the winning streak. But our schedule, nothing gets easier. Missouri's a really good team. I watched them the other night. A lot of really good players that are going to present some problems for us in terms of how they play. And then you got Arkansas. That's really good. So it's a tough stretch we have coming in, but again, that's where we gotta respond quickly.
Is there anything you guys are seeing fundamentally with the shooting? It seems like it's uncharacteristic given what you guys have done in the past.
No, I mean, we make shots in practice. We've been shooting it well. We're even implemented a new, just getting more reps in on the gun since we got new guns, and they're getting those reps in, outside of practice time. Some of it, you just gotta have that confidence. You gotta be ready to shoot it, and that's also why we preach all the time practicing those shots at game speed. It's a little bit different when you're on the gun or when you have 6'2" running at you. So, but we've been hitting shots in practice, so it's not like I've been concerned with that. But I say it all the time. I said it leading into this game. I said we gotta be able to hit shots. That's how Toledo beat them. Toledo shot the crap out of it and hit shots, and it gets frustrating, right? When we have some good looks and they just don't go, or we get, shots at the rim and they don't go. And look at them. They shot they shot lights out, and we gave them open shots, but you gotta give them credit. They made them. We had open shots, we didn't make them. So we'll keep getting reps in because I believe that reps lead to confidence, and confidence leads to success. So we just gotta keep getting those reps in, and hopefully a couple of them going in games.
Genesis Bryant was held scoreless tonight for the first time in her Illinois career. Can you talk about the impact Layla Felia had on her defensively today?
Yeah, Layla's a great defender, and she has great size and strength. And if you saw, anytime Kyra or Jen, they just collapsed on them. They were not going to give those two guys, any easy look. So, I mean, they were completely just hounded. As soon as they drove, they were covered, which we knew, and we worked on, in prep of working your feet, getting kickouts to get some rhythm threes. We did not do a good job of executing that. There was a lot of times they over-help and over-rotate so much, and we didn't make them pay. And that's what we had done so well in practice leading up to this. And like I said, the thing is, when we had some adversity in our responses, we kind of abandoned our game plan, and we took really quick shots. We didn't run offense. And then those quick shots, you're not making them, those lead to transition. And that's where it can snowball really quick. So in those times, we got to be better with discipline of, okay, running our offense, getting a good shot, and at least then if you miss it, we're all in a position where we can get back in transition, because we got absolutely killed in transition today. And this doesn't show it. That's not right. All that stuff, that is not right. 2 points in fast break, and no, we got absolutely destroyed in transition, but those are a lot just from bad shots and not shots out of our offense, and now they're running it down our throat. And that's where it can get out of hand really quickly, which what happened today.
I was gonna ask, was your inability to get into Phoenix a lot early on just because you're pulling it out of your own net, or was there something else going on there where you just kind of knew it wasn't gonna happen today?
And coming in from how they defended Phoenix even last year, we had success with it, and how they handle drag screens. Like, if we could run it, it would present problems, and it did. When we ran it, I can't wait to see our numbers, because I'm sure they were really bad with our Phoenix, but we just didn't do it. So yes, you have to get stops and clean rebounds in order to run Phoenix, but I also thought we did get some shots early in that first 5 minutes. We ran it, we didn't make shots. We missed some at the rim, we missed some, we didn't execute, we didn't finish the play. And then from there, Phoenix, again, it just kind of the abandonment. Like, that's the story of today. We just kind of went away from everything that we had prepared for when some adversity hit. So we got it. That's something that's very clear, and now we will address that.
Makaira hits that first shot, makes him miss, almost feeling like, she's going to get in a rhythm. What'd you kind of see from her? Was it something that they did, or did you feel like maybe she rushed some shots? What'd you kind of see from what she was able to do tonight?
I mean, again, they keyed in on her and Jen. And the thing about Makaira and that I love about her is she's going to fight. She kept fighting. She kept attacking. She didn't make every shot, but she never stopped. And she was relentless in that. And we need those mindsets. Like, it's the Big Ten. You're going to have someone bigger on you, stronger on you probably. And what is your mindset going to be? Are you going to keep attacking, or because they're pressuring, or are you just going to kind of, back off and no? And the thing about Makaira, she's just going to keep attacking and keep working. And she was trying to do a lot out there. She had a ball in her hand. I mean, she played the whole game until the very end, and I just pulled her out because I didn't want something to happen. But she never quit fighting. Her shots, she'll. I thought she was better tonight. She's starting. You can see it right coming back a little bit. But then we need other people to hit shots too, because when people aren't hitting shots, what happens? All the defense just collapses in. And it's hard. That paint is, it was really, really tight in there today. And we knew if we got in the paint, we could get a lot of openings, but they did a really good job of keeping us out.
You mentioned how do you coach this week to get them to respond better to those moments like that?
We got to put them in some of those situations. We'll come up with different ways, put them in different situations. We got to be able to. We have a drill where we have to be able to get a stop, score a stop, and execute that. And I mean, we didn't do that tonight, right? Especially when you're trying to build a lead and/or come back. You need to be able to string possessions together, and that's where all year you've been hearing me talk. And some of my concern has been some of that consistency piece. And you saw that tonight. And what I've been saying is the good teams are going to make you pay for it. We made mistakes tonight. They made us pay. Some of the other teams we played have not been able to do that. So are we capable of doing it? Yes, I see it. I see it in glimpses. We got to be able to do it for 40, possession after possession after possession.
And then with Bryn, I know the shooting wasn't there, but it looked like she was really active, whether rebounding or defensively. How have you seen her continue to take those steps?
I was really, really happy with Bryn. I thought she was another one that fought and played hard. I mean, she played 29 minutes, and I thought she was competing and fighting every single time. She's 2 for 7, 1 for 6. She had great looks. She hit some early. For that stretch, she was the only one hitting them. But she's getting better and better. She had 7 rebounds. I just love how she's being really aggressive on both ends. And she did some good things defensively, but then again, that's a hard guard for her, right? Like, she's having to guard Hobbs, who's essentially a guard. I thought and if we would have executed some of our other pieces of our defensive game plan that was built in there to help those drives, we didn't do that. So that's a piece that maybe isn't on the ball, but it's our built-in help that we had built into our scouting plan and that we didn't execute at a high level consistently.
The third quarter the most frustrating for you because it seems like you're down 20 and then you give up 31 in the third. Is that more because you were gambling a little bit and you knew that could happen, or did they just come out in the third quarter and do the same thing defensively?
Yeah, they were all very frustrating. But yeah, that was very frustrating. I mean, 31 points. And we did. We tried to ramp it up and press, and then, and I was, at one point, I was trying every different alignment that there was, and to no avail. So, yeah, it was frustrating. I mean, it was all frustrating, when you're used to seeing, and then to see such great effort and focus. I really, really thought we were going to come out and play well today. So as a coach, it's frustrating, but I gotta be able to do a better job of putting them in situations to get them out of that. And obviously I did not do that tonight.
Anything else?